Listen, I'm not going to spend a lot of time disputing, but what is a mystery and what is a riddle? If Yahweh wanted to sit down and say, okay, Alexander the Great was an Ishmaelite, which he was an Arab, he went around and did this, that, and the third, but in history they'll make it seem like he was white. They'll sit down and tell you, okay, the Hebrews went and they raided the Sicilians and Italians, and that's where the Sicilians came from. No, Hannibal Barca was a Hamite, okay? He was a Hamite, and there are also Hittites that were a lot of dark-skinned Hungarian and Mongolians. So Hannibal Barca actually came from the Hungarian, the Mongolian side. Even though he was African and black, he was a Hamite. And from out of that section, you have a lot of the Hittites that came out of. All right. So people, the real Israelites got this video up, sitting over here with the Italians going, yeah, you know, we got black in us. So you're black yourself and don't even know the separation with the black people. That there's Hamitic and there's Semitic. The Semitic people never went around raping and doing all that other stuff. So how in the heck is you saying that you were part of this culture or you doing something and you don't even know what your own people did? Then you sitting down talking about why ain't DNA in the Torah then? You just sat down and said that the Torah was something bad. Now you want to know why the DNA isn't in the Torah. It is in the Torah, dingy. If your dingy butt would read, you would see that it says the characteristics and the traits. How do we find the characteristics and traits? We go back to the haplogroup and the DNA. And every haplogroup, no matter what color, no matter what nation, they always carry the same personality and the same characteristics somewhere along the line. Now you have to be of the word to see this. Then you go and you look at the DNA, the haplogroups, and you look at the personality, you look at how they worship and what they did, and you go, wow, holy crap. Now, that is the mystery of what it has. The separation was there. If you take the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet, and you put it up with all of the 46 chromosomes, it'll tell you right there also. I'm not going to keep iterating on this. If you just like people going around saying, oh, the Mexicans are the part of the Mr. tribe. They are Mongolian bloodline. You have to know what the bloodline in a haplogroup is in order to get it. And then you look at what people have done with killing little girl babies and sacrificing and doing all this other stuff. Then you say, wow, they did this stuff in Egyptian. Now you trace it back even more and you see, wow, they mysteriously, this happened and a lot of other stuff happened. Just like a lot of the Hamitic tribes were traveling to America and the pharaohs, they were doing that way back when. But the Smithsonians and stuff won't tell you that they found tobacco and cocaine and the leaves and all this stuff from South America over in Egypt in these tombs. Because history has been whitewashed for manipulation and control. If it's not saying it in the Bible, it's because it's a part of the weaving. You're supposed to know in your spirit what it is, what you're preaching, what you're teaching, and what you are of, or what you came from and are trying to be a part of. So if you're not in the spirit and you don't know this, you're not getting a revelation, because it also says that you have to be of this bloodline. Stop harking on me about my bloodline. If you want to know about my bloodline, come down here to Manhattan. I'll take you down to the Fire Engine House Museum and show you where my uncle was my great uncle was a historian, and he was part of the Black Panther movement. They was Israelites. Come down here and I'll show you 2006 in the Star Ledger in the front page paper of Newark, New Jersey of the paper. Come down here, I'll let you talk to Columbia University and then let you go talk to my grandmother when they had Michigan University studying her. Stop trying to play me. I don't have to sit up here and prove and talk to you about who I am and give you the evidence. Me speaking about God and what you're supposed to do and what we are supposed to do as a people should be enough. But if you're harking on DNA, that means your heart and your soul isn't in the right place, because you're shooting messages to me that have nothing to do with anything. Then you're talking about, oh, if it came from the Torah about DNA, that is witchcraft and all this other stuff that the Jews do. And then no, for one, that's the Talmud and Kabbalah, that's you, man. So that means you don't even know what you're talking about. We're talking about characteristics and traits. And all of the Muslims and all of the Ashkenazi Jews teach their kids and their people this because they know that it was the DNA and the separation. They know when Moses touched his hand and did like this, it was for the separation. They know that in the book of Enoch and Jasher, that when Noah mysteriously became an albino, that was because to fit in with the Canaanites and the rest of them, because there was going to be a separation. But you didn't get that. That's why you got Shem, Japheth, and the Hamites. They were going to be the separations, all right? And then from out of that, you got Jacob's seed, which even separated even more and broke it down to just this one little E1 haplogroup. That the only thing that came out of them was mixed marriages with the women and the men, and the daggone plumishing of the Europeans and the Spanish Europeans when they raped them. Then that's when you get the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans out of them. So stop playing yourself and stop trying to play me and question me, because you're debating with me about stuff instead of trying to learn the word of God. And you're so worried about DNA that guess what? I have a lot of Ashkenazi friends that have converted over, but since they spent their whole life doing all the tradition and now they're doing the word, they're going to bump 10 steps ahead of all these little Israelites and Hebrews that are spending more of their time trying to figure out this because they're not of the word. They're trying to do studying and research instead of just praying on it. You can't be an Israelite and not be in the spirit praying and asking God to fill you with that knowledge, because if you're of that chromosome and haplogroup, he'll fill you with that knowledge. Then he'll give you revelation if you're part of the tribes or part of this prophet bloodline. It says it in the daggone scriptures, but you don't read. I don't have to sit down and point everything out, because remember, you're an Israelite. You're supposed to know all these things, but you keep arguing with me about haplogroups and DNA. And this is the same thing that they fashioned the world on, because even Hitler knew the truth and he used it for his own liking to do half of the stuff that he did and figure out half of the mysteries that he did. But I'm trying to teach you what they've been doing for hundreds and hundreds of years, and you still arguing with me, well, why ain't it in here? Why in the heck would it be a mystery if he put it in there? Why in the heck would you have to go to school to take a test if your teacher sat down and said, here you go, here goes the answer to the test, and there goes the test? Wow. Hard-headed, stiff-necked people.